Well, welcome to another episode of Rimshots with Sean right here in the Rock Rage Radio Network, brought to you by Barstools and Bandtalk and Mapex Drums. I have a return guest, which is always good because return guests means they were happy guests, means they want to come back. I have actually my very good friend now because we get to know each other quite well, Mr. Dan Sindel, all the way from Los Angeles, California. Hey, how are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great. Hi, Sean, and hey, everybody out there. I'm honored to be back on your show. Awesome.
Well, thank you. I wanted to. The first thing I wanted to tackle was this. Talk about networking a lot, or I do, and I talk about different sorts of things about how networking is very important. And we met through a mutual contact, and it was we got to know each other. We've been friends for I don't know a number of months.
Yeah.
And you sent me a note one day asking if I had any thoughts about who you could talk to, and I suggested you look at Curtain Call Records,
Yes.
which you did. And I will say, I never went ahead and told them, hey, you know what, give Dan a shot or whatever. I told you to go look at them. And why
Yeah.
don't you tell everybody what happened with that?
Well, precursor to that, yeah, I've been like most independent musicians, just fighting for survival to get my music heard out there. It's hard. There's so much competition. What is it now? 60, 70,000 uploads per day to Spotify and YouTube or whatever. I mean, you're fighting against almost a million songs on a weekly basis. What's a guy to do? So I invested in this product called the Indie Bible, and I was using that and sending out pitches, emails to radio stations, but getting really frustrated. So, yeah, I kind of had a random thought, and that's why I contacted you the backside with a private message asking if you knew any companies because you've been doing this for so long. I was shooting big. I was asking about Universal or Frontier, some of the more major labels as far as distribution. And you told me to actually go look at a company called Curtain Call. Okay, so I did. And yeah, one thing led to another. I wrote them a nice note. They called me back. I talked to John. And next thing you know, I thought putting my energies together with these guys is a seriously good fit. They're a small indie label with a lot of respect out there, and they believed in me, which is something you don't find very often anymore. A company to actually believe in what you're doing. So I thank you for the referral, and thank you, John and Brian over at Curtain Call. Things are working out pretty well. I've been with them for 1 month now.
So to be clear, I got you to say that, and it wasn't so that you went, "Yay, Sean," because that wasn't the point. And thank you for for that. Um, but to your point, everything that you said about the amount of songs that get loaded on a daily basis, about the slug and the slog and everything that's going on, these are things that are commonplace. These are things that people know, yet people uh, always try to do things on their own. They don't ask for help,
Hmm.
um, and with very little success sometimes. Um, so this is a perfect situation where I can go, hey, I didn't break Dan. I didn't. All I did was open a door, and Dan, walked through it and made it happen. So that I think is a very important thing that people need to understand. This is how this business for indie labels and indie artists is done now,
Mm.
right?
Yeah. Well, case in point, I did as much as I humanly possibly could until the point of insanity and not feeling like, what am I doing? I'm beating my head against the wall. So it was a small cry for help. And yeah, yay, Sean. Thank you.
Well, but here's the thing, Dan. You were doing more than a lot of people that I've come across have
Hmm.
done. I mean, you were messaging me on a daily basis. Have you done this? Have you done that? I've done this. I've done that. And I mean, my daily existence, I mean, like I work with people all the time, and in my own backyard, hey, for whatever reason, people, I guess they know more than me, and they whatever. I've had a lot more success working with folks such as yourself to help them, do things. So,
Hmm.
um, the message I want to get across is that, hey, man, it's all right to say, hey, do you have any ideas? Ask for help because you never know, man. A door might open, somebody might know somebody, and it only benefits you.
Absolutely. Never be afraid to ask for help. It's a good lesson.
It is. So, talk to me about you had your song went out, and you're having a lot of success with it. I'm seeing your posts. You're
Hmm.
getting radio ads. You're getting all that stuff. Talk a little bit about what's been going on with the tune.
Well, are you referring to my new release, which would be Freedom?
Freedom, my friend.
Freedom, yeah, baby. It's my new song. Well, I wrote it a long time ago, actually, but I just released it as of about a week, maybe 2 weeks ago, tops. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing it and go across international boundaries and get played on various radio stations from internet to it would be nice to get on terrestrial FM. That's a whole nother ball of wax. But yeah, it's just exciting to put out new music and see what happens. And you really do have to work hard. You just can't put it up on, whatever, Spotify and YouTube, whether you use CD Baby or TuneCore or DistroKid. You just can't put it up there and expect it to start hitting big numbers. You got to work your ass off to get people to understand that it even exists. True, there are some people, it's like winning the lottery. They upload it, and next thing you know, overnight they have 1 million streams, and everybody's looking at you for some strange reason. But that's typically not the case.
It's not, and even with a lot of streams and a lot of views, I mean, I could tell you personally, an artist that I work with has almost 150,000 views on a video,
Mm-hmm.
and is getting, I guess, less attention than a major artist that has about 15,000. So, I mean, that's the game. And I want to throw this at you because there's
Mm.
another thing that's taking place now. Did you see the story that's making the rounds about what they believe to be the AI band? Nobody can find out anything about them. They don't. Have you seen that?
No, tell me about it.
So I don't have the name of the band right now. To back that up, January of 2024,
Mm-hmm.
I was given um, a story by somebody about they think Spotify is going to start producing AI music and putting out AI artists. So the artists will come out, and basically it's a way for them to get money without paying an artist because the artist doesn't exist. So that was in January. In February of 2025, it
Mm-hmm.
happened to an artist up here,
Right?
and the whole world blew up. Oh my God, this is unheard of. Now it comes out the day before yesterday that there's a band they're getting something like 350, 400,000 streams a day.
Hmm.
They've been out for a short period of time. Nobody can find out where they are, where they live, if they exist, and they think it's AI. So there's another wrinkle that the independent has to deal with now, right?
Hmm. Yeah, here we go again. This is just the beginning. AI is going to steal and rob a lot of brilliant, smart, educated, tenured people from their jobs. It's going to happen within a few short years. And if they're already stacking the deck, maybe even as like a beta test to see if they can fool people just by inserting a situation like that, they have the means and the ways to get it into the system and get more hits because whoever's doing it, they got the hands on the controls. But yeah, that sucks.
Well, and something else that I come to find out through promoting artists. So you get these people that are like, oh, well, back in the day they used to call payola, right? We know what payola is, where they would pay for
Yeah.
plays um, people, there's this term organic growth, and um, what they do is they take things like search engine optimization and they go, oh, well, it's fake, it's fake, which is totally not the case. And I can tell you, um, there was an artist that I was did some promo with that was on a major label. The song was out 5 hours and had close to 1 million views on YouTube.
Hmm.
You tell me if 1 million people went and watched that, right? And so I did some digging. We sometimes put some money into these things. They're not bots,
Mm-hmm.
but they are doing some, uh, paid things to get the thing out there, right? So these are all tools that are taking place now, right? And
Yeah.
so I sensed your frustration as we were talking because,
Hmm.
and I felt that it was like, okay, you know what? It's time to point the end of these guys because they are masters at
Hmm.
marketing. They're the thing that I like about Curtain Call more than anything else, and I talk with artist after artist after artist, is how
Mhm.
they work with their clients, how they work with their people. They're constantly talking to them, meeting with them, giving them numbers, and I'm assuming that's been your experience so far.
Yes, I've had more interaction with these guys on a weekly basis than I have with a majority of the people that I've hired to help me over the few years. And they're really in my corner. This is something that I'm actually not used to.
Yeah, well, hey, it's
I'm
great to
used to
hear.
all the I'm used to all the rejection and sort of you get what you pay for. If you don't pay up, then well, you're yesterday's news. I don't know. I'm not gonna throw darts at anybody that's ever helped me, because God bless you. If you've ever helped me in
Yep,
any capacity, I am grateful. And it's usually my fault because of economics that I can't keep the thing going and continue to pay for services. It's tough, you know?
yeah.
It's tough out
Well,
there.
it is, but here's the thing. And I'm not saying all of them, but you see it all the time. You can go on Instagram or you can go on Facebook and everybody's like, "Hey, are you looking for streams?
Mm-hmm.
Click on this link." And a lot of the ones that I've talked to or looked at, uh, it's like they'll help you to a point, but it's like, oh, okay, you really want to do it? Well, then pay this, and it's always another gate, another gate, another
Mm-hmm.
gate, another gate.
Mm-hmm.
So I get what you're saying there, Dan. I do.
And even in that respect, if you buy onto some type of service, you're dealing with an unknown entity that might be dishing out bots that could get you flagged and
Yeah.
have all your hard work torn down. And now you have to start from square one with a different name or IP address or whatever just to get back on the digital services. It's like almost identity theft if you go down that road. Oh, but hey, as a segue, I wanted to talk to you because we were talking about AI and
Yeah.
robots and everything. And before you asked me about freedom, and I'd like to go back to my new song, Freedom, for all
Please.
you guys that want to listen to something with a kind of a cool rock vibe. It's got some like an old backbeat of some old Led Zeppelin, like Achilles' Last Stand. The bass line kind of rocks like Yes Roundabout, but it has more of a central theme. You know, I guess you would say dystopian, talking about what we're talking about now: Terminator, The Matrix, Blade Runner, the future of robots taking over, putting humanity in the place of unknown, what's going to happen to our future, and perhaps even to a place of reminiscing about a day when this technology didn't even exist. Which, if you roll the clock back about 20 years, none of this stuff really existed. YouTube was just a brand new baby. Now it's like part of our lives. Cell phones. You only saw those things in Star Trek.
Well, and it's funny, like I remember six or maybe not that far back, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, reading where somebody figured out how to actually transport light, right? So that what the
Hmm.
concept was like, the transporter and and Star Trek. It's, it's on its way. And I mean, um, I'd love to get your take on this. My personal opinion in music and entertainment now is there's so many things that are thrown up that are designed to tell people you're not worthy. Don't even bother. Go support the major guys. And people get discouraged and they do quit.
Mm.
One of the things that I picked up on with you very quickly, I got the frustration, but I also got the fact that you weren't going away. And, I want you to talk about that a little bit. What that's meant to you and how you have that internal, I guess, motivation because you need that if you're gonna make a go of it.
Well, I'm a fighter, I'm a survivor, and I'm the kind of person that even as a little kid, nothing came for free.
Yep.
Nothing came easy to me. If I wanted something, I had to fight for it. I wanted to learn how to play guitar. Didn't come easy. I had to fight. You know, I teach guitar. Some people pick up the guitar and with like their very first lesson, in the first half hour, they're already playing a couple chords, things that I couldn't even do for like 2, 3 months.
Yep.
I look at them and I say, I hate you. I'm so jealous. Yeah, but everybody has their own type of learning pace or just things come to you. But yeah, I was never really a good student unless I really put my mind to it. And yeah, things that I think is a lesson for anybody really. But if there's something that truly, truly is in your heart and it's your passion, then you have to continually on a daily basis develop your skill and work at it. I mean, if you want to play baseball, you got to practice a couple times a week and to play a game, which reveals your shortcomings. Then you go back and practice and over and over again. With music, is the same thing. I just think it's with anything. Students, doctors, anybody that's following their heart and passion can just what's in front of you and you know if in your heart if it's the right thing for you to be doing or not. And for me, I'm psycho enough to follow the path of musician.
But you nailed it because if something is worth it to you, you're going to continue to improve at it or try to improve at it. You're going to continue to work at it. I mean, you nailed it. We know people who pick up an instrument and they're just amazing right out of the gates. And yes, we say, yeah, we don't like you or whatever. But I mean, that's just a fact of life, right? But then it gets into the whole compare game. Okay, well, you're comparing yourself to somebody else. And I think that's the other thing too about this business is that's frustrating. That again, and I'm giving you some high fives, Dan, here because a lot of it, the whole system is designed for the average Joe to look at somebody else and go, "Man, I'm never going to be that good. Why bother? I'm just going to quit. I'm just going to pack it." And that's what the major uh, people in the business really want to see happen. They don't want to see all these little independent guys. They're really a pain for them. So anybody that such as yourself that keeps plugging away, I think they need to be commended for that because it's not an easy business now. It's never been. You've never had more opportunity to get your music out there, but have more opportunity to never have success. If that makes sense.
Well, that's the whole point of it. Anybody with a reasonable laptop and with $100 or $200 can buy a little interface, a little microphone. Software is even for free. And now you're making your own music. Whether it's good or not, that's another story. But then for $20, you can get something like TuneCore or DistroKid to upload your music.
Yeah.
And now somebody that puts their heart and soul and tens and thousands of dollars and hours of their hard-earned time and sweat equity is up against somebody who just uploaded something that they spent a half hour on.
Yeah,
It's like,
and I mean, you would probably remember this, like, coming up in the business because you're in the Los Angeles area, and we talked about this when we met before. You saw that whole '80s hair metal thing explode. Um,
mm-hmm.
but when you were coming up, you probably were around people who You knew darn well they were playing instruments and they were getting gigs, but they were only going to do it for a couple of years, and then they'd go to university, become a doctor or a lawyer, and you'd never hear from them again in music, right?
Well, there are a few,
Yeah,
but yeah, most of the time in the 80s, most of the people were pursuing it with everything they had,
right,
with every ounce of fight, because in that certain part of time, there was a fighting chance for us guys until maybe like 85, 86, when the window and the doors started closing, at least for hard rock, heavy metal. Glam and hip hop started to take over. Seattle got big. LA kind of disappeared and turned into a ghost town by about 87 as far as opportunities. And but in that window, man, people were fighting hard for it. I didn't hear too many people talking about wanting to be anything else but until they quit and said I'm going to be.
I want to ask you this. I'd love to get your thoughts on this because it's really along the theme of what we've been talking about. So James Michael, who is the singer of 6 a.m.,
Hmm.
he has a spoken word podcast, and he put one out a couple weeks ago, and it was titled "Why I No Longer Love Music."
Oh.
And I've asked people this before. The crux of it was music is no longer creative. You're writing to the algorithm. You're writing to try to get people who don't even like music or care about your product to buy your product. And he's frustrated with it, and the creativity piece is gone. I'd love to get your 2 cents on that because you're still creating, you're still putting stuff out. You get this new endeavor. What are your thoughts?
Well, I actually saw you posting that,
Yep.
and of all the very few things I ever have enough time for or interest to pursue and watch, that piqued my interest. And I did watch his bit on what he said. And I agree with just about everything he said. I don't have the experience that that fellow has as far as touring and really being in the trenches and, being that far down the road. But I sure felt his pain. But still, what are you going to do? I'm not going to quit. I still wake up with that small hope, just like somebody who goes to the liquor store with their last dollar buying a lotto scratcher, hoping they're going to win.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, that's fair. And you know what? This business is unfortunately littered with people who have quit, right? And I mean,
Mm,
it's just the thing that I like about this whole conversation. Because when I met you, first off, you know, you were excited about your album coming out.
mm-hmm.
You had a great story, you had a great background, but just to kind of see the trajectory of where it's gone, what has happened for you to get there, you going through some frustration but asking for help, and then really taking the bull by the horns yourself. I think there's a great message in there for people that are frustrated because it's like, hey, you know what? If Dan can do it, maybe I can do it,
Absolutely. Yeah.
right?
I don't see myself as the great pillar of the community and for everybody to follow my footpath. Kind of like the life of Brian. All of a sudden now everybody's following me. You have to be a Monty Python fan to get that reference.
Oh, I know it. But I mean, here's the thing, Dan, and I'll say this, and because I can't emphasize it enough. You're doing something that I'm going to say anybody can do because I know all kinds of people that are doing it, but
Hmm.
few do it because what they do is, you know, I'll put it to you this way. When you sent me that message that day, hey, what do you think? And I gave you my response. Most people go, well, this is what I think. And this is what and they immediately go to an experience that they're given by somebody that hasn't done what they're trying to do, and they run with that. They try to put their opinion in it. But you
Right.
said, I'm going to go look into it.
Yeah.
Now, here you are. And there's a huge message in there because that's the part that anybody can do, but they don't and usually won't do that.
Well, I can't speak for anybody else, but if you're going to ask something of somebody, and they give you a valid response, why would you not pursue it?
Ah, thank you.
Hello.
If five years of doing this podcast, and if I woke up tomorrow and they said you are no longer going to do it, that is the message right there in 5 years that people need to understand. Perfect. So thank you for that. Um, so how long? What do you? What? How long are you going to roll with Freedom? Obviously, you'll have another one in the chamber. You get another one you're going to be pushing, but you're gonna get as much juice out of this one as you can, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, with Ambition, the first track, I put that out in the beginning of April, and that's before I was rolling with Curtain Call. And I got some pretty good response from that just on my own Steam. I got it played across the world and in Europe and England. I mean, to me, that's the biggest thrill. I'm
Yeah.
shooting to get my music heard in London and the UK. I mean, come on, growing up, that's all my favorite bands. EOP and Yes and Genesis and Black Sabbath and Deep Purple. I mean, it goes on and on and on. Pink Floyd, even Hendrix had to go to London, you know?
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, Dan, and because I know what it's like for when I have an artist that I work with and I get the email saying, "Hey, you've appeared on," and you get like a list of 30 radio stations. What's that feel like when you get that bounce back that you're getting played on those stations?
Oh, man, it's awesome. I mean, it's pure validation. It's I hate to put it into the realms of, let's say, having to do a mundane job like being a telemarketer, but when you're a telemarketer, you grow a very thick skin after a week or two because it takes over 100, sometimes 200 flat out no's to get to one solid yes. And when you get that, it, it it's everything. It makes all of the abuse you just took over the past week worth it. It's like, okay, okay, let's see if I can go get one more. It's like collecting. You want to see how many you can get going. To me, it's like an adventure. It's fun. Sure, you're going to get no's. That's part of life.
Part of, well, you know what? And those numbers are eerily similar to my dating life. So thank you for that. Two 200 knows to get the first yes. I mean, but again, you nailed it. And it's like, that is what it takes. The word no has to be a motivator. If it's not a motivator, you're going to have a very, very, very tough time. And that's the other problem I think that people with instant success that they don't experience the no, and then they don't know how to take it when they finally get it because they will get it at some point,
Mm,
right?
no is a very cold slap of reality in your face. That
As
is for
ever.
sure.
But like I say, for me, it's probably one of the most motivating words that anybody can ever say to me.
Mm.
Because it's like, really? What did you just say? Well, guess what? Right?
Yeah. Oh, you don't think I can you? Well, just watch.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Well, back to your question. The curtain call just released Ambition and Freedom at the same time in one press release. So, we're going retro a little bit with a song from 2, 3 months ago, and they're pushing my new one. We'll probably do that for about 2, 3 months and watch how the markets go and look at the data and what have you, and then we'll roll out the new one.
awesome. So, last question because we're running out of time, but where do I send my folks? I know we had it from before, but give us a reminder. Where do I send them to get your material and find out what you're up to?
Oh, sure. Well, as of this conversation, maybe about 3 weeks ago, I put both albums, or my EPs technically. I have two EPs. Volume 1, Unpopular Music for Volume People, and what is now my new album, They Only Love You When You're Winning, which is Volume 2 of the series, are both available on Bandcamp.
Nice.
You put in my name, Dan Sindel, Sindel, and yeah, you can play the music for free, I think. And if you like it, heck, it's only $5 or $6. You can buy it. And Yeah, on Instagram and well, you're gonna put the links up, I guess, but
Yep.
you can hit me on Instagram and Facebook, Dan Sindel Music. I'm around. I'm on YouTube. Sure, if you're interested in checking out some stuff that's kind of new yet kind of old,
Well, and go to
and
Curtain Call. They'll find you a Curtain Call too.
oh yes, curtaincall.com, baby. Curtain
I,
Call Records.
I want to end with this. Something that you're doing that we stumbled upon it. It was my producer Jason McCorst and McCarty Media
Mhm.
that stumbled on it is reels and basically how people are way more likely to look at a 39-40 second reel than they are 26 to 36 minutes of. So you've been doing the little reels, little updates. You do them all the time. Hi, this is Dan. You know what you're up to. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
Good on you because those are very, very powerful things. I enjoy them. I think they're great. It
Oh,
really
thank you.
lets your personality shine. And keep doing it, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, it's been an honor to be on your show once again. I hope whoever's, watching or listening enjoys the conversation. And don't let no's get you down and get in your way, man. Just fight through it and pursue your dreams.
Love it. Dan Sindel, we're back after this.